Look at all the bubbles that are in this. Can you see them all? It's almost like it's full of glitter. And these bubbles aren't random. They're caused by something that's happening much earlier in the curing process. And once you understand where they really come from, they can become much easier to get rid of. This video will help you understand how to get rid of bubbles and different methods of being able to get rid of those bubbles. So this is what happens if you mix up your resin and it's cold straight from the bottle and you're in a cold room. And it doesn't matter, even if you mix by hand or mix by machine, you're going to be plagued with bubbles. So as you can see, there's already bubbles in that from just pouring in. And now what I'm going to do is mix this 4 minutes slowly like this, scraping the sides and the bottom and the stick, which is what you should do whenever you're mixing resin. And this is the most common way that people mix their resin. And with just following a few simple tricks, which I'll show you further on in this video, you'll see how much of a difference you can make to getting a nice clear resin. There we go, so that's mixed up, and as you can see, there's loads of bubbles in that. So what I'm going to do is just put that to one side. Now, this next method doesn't eliminate bubbles completely, but it reduces how many form in the first place, and that is by warming up your resin first. Now, I'm fortunate, I do have one of these, which is a bottle warmer. And it's designed specifically for resin. It's easy to use. And the great thing about it is it's cheaper than bottle warmers for babies. And I've got my bottles in there already. But if, for instance, your bottles are large bottles and they're too big for this, or you don't want to put your bottles in the bottle warmer and heat everything up, because it does mean heating all the resin up in both bottles, then you can just mix up what you want to use like this. So here I'm going to mix up again 120 mils of resin to show you this. And before I combine them, what I'm going to do is put them in this water bath. Now, the important thing when you're doing a water bath is you only want it warm. You don't want it hot, because you don't want to put your resin up too much of a temperature, because if you do, then what's going to happen is you're going to flash cure your resin when it mixes. And I don't want that. That's the last thing I want. So what I'm going to do is take those bottles out to start with, like that. And now, so no moisture gets in there, all I'm going to do is put these little plastic caps on them. And these are designed for tins. They're ever so cheap. And they're easy to get hold of. I'll link them in the description below. And then I'm going to pop my resin in there, pop my lid on like that, and then I'm going to leave that in there for about 10 minutes, probably at the most, is all that'll need for that amount of resin. And this is easy to set. You can set the timer and the temperature. I've got it in degrees centigrade. I'm sure you can adjust it to Fahrenheit if you need to. And what we'll do is we'll compare the difference of these different techniques as we go along. So I've got this one. This one is labelled as cold, because it was cold when I put the resin in there. This one I'll label as water bath. And then I've got 2 more methods that I'll show you, each progressing up as we go. And it depends on how much resin you do and how much investment you want to make on where you go. At least this method really does work and help. Doesn't eliminate them, but it does help. Well, these have had 5 minutes now, so I'm going to take them out of there. And you can see they're a lot more liquid now, and there's no water gone into that. I'm going to pop these back in there as well to enable me to use them a little bit further on. Now, before you do anything next to these, always dry whatever you've used, whether it's your bottles or anything, and make sure they're lovely and dry, because that way you can't contaminate your resin with any water or anything. And then just pop your lids off. You just need to lift them like that slowly, again, so no water drops in them. And then pour your resin down the side. You can actually see how much more liquid it is. It's not as viscous. And this will mix much, much easier. It will still have a few bubbles in, but it'll get rid of a good lot of them. Make sure we've got all that out. So we've got an equal amount. You can see that is stirring much easier, and we just mix that slowly in a figure of 8, making sure we go round, scrape the sides and scrape the scraper and the bottom as well, and that will mean that you won't have any bits in there that are unmixed. So I've finished mixing that up now, and as you can see there are a few bubbles in it, but there's nowhere near as many, and as that cures, some of those will lift out. I've written on there warm bath, so we know which one it is, and we leave them to the side to cure up. Now this is where you move from reducing bubbles to actively removing them. So we can put those to one side. And the first method I'm going to show you is the Resin Airless Pro. Now I like this one the best. It is the strongest vacuum, and I wouldn't go for any of the other ones, not unless you're using a really thin resin. Then the other ones would be okay, but I use lots of different thicknesses. So all I need to do now is mix my resin up. Again, I'm going to mix up 120 mils, and it doesn't matter if your resin's been in a water bath or not, but it does help a great deal for it to be able to remove the bubbles if the resin isn't cold. And if you, like I said, for years I used my sink as a water bath. Now I've got this, I wouldn't be without it. But, you know, you've got to do what you've got to do. Once again, you mix this up in exactly the same way for the same amount of times, doing a figure of eight. How I do it is I do a figure of eight a couple of times, then I go round and round, then I go round and round the other way. Then I scrape the sides, then I scrape the bottom, then I scrape the stick when I'm mixing by hand. If I'm using a mixing machine, I don't worry about that. But I'm doing this by hand because a lot of people mix by hand. I mean, 99% of the time I mix now using a machine because I feel it gives it a better mix and with less bubbles as well. And all you need to do for this is pop it in there like that. Put the lid on, make sure your little valve's shut, turn it on, and then put it on for either 5 or 10 minutes. And you'll see the bubbles start to be dragged out of that. We have already reduced them quite a bit because we've warmed the resin up before we started, and that makes a big difference. So as the vacuum builds up in there, you'll start to see the bubbles being drawn out. So as you can see now, this has been going for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and look at the amount of bubbles that it's already starting to pull and draw up to the top. And when they get to the top, they will burst, and all those bubbles would have been inside your resin coming out, and you can see it clearing really well, and it's not frothing right over because the viscosity of this resin has been reduced due to putting it in that water bath. Look at it, it's almost clear now, and it's only been in there nearly 2.5 minutes. You put cold resin into one of these and it's going to struggle, firstly, to get the bubbles out of it. It will get them, but it'll also froth up ever such a lot because there'll be so many extra bubbles in there. So that's had just over 5 minutes in there now, and it's still pulling 1 or 2 out, but very few. And it hasn't actually frothed it up. Now I could take that out if I wanted from there now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer and let it do its thing. So this has had just over 7 minutes now. I think that's enough. I can turn it off, release the vacuum out of there like that, lift that up, take that out. As you can see, that is almost perfectly clear. So we can put that to one side with the others. And this last method that I'm going to show you is the method really that completely changes what's possible with resin clarity, and that's using a pressure pot. So I'm going to mix up my resin and then quickly show you that. Well, this is my pressure pot over here, and you have to have a compressor with a pressure pot because if not, you've got nothing to make the pressure with. And they jointly, I would say, come to about 400 to 500 pounds, probably nearer 500 pounds. What's that, about 750, 800 American dollars. You might be able to get them cheaper, but you do need a good quality one because, you know, these are dangerous if they're not set up properly or created properly. Now, mine went wrong a while ago. I dropped the top bit on the floor and broke it and couldn't get the valve out. So, and through the kindness of people who watch my videos and send me coffees, I was able to get a new one. That's why it's been taking me so long to get this video out. So all you need to do to use a pressure pot is take your resin, and this is the resin. As you can see, it's full of bubbles. Pop it in there, put your lid on, and you want to make sure these are nice and tight. I'm sorry, I can't get my whole head in. And I do them up, each one, and then I go round and tighten them evenly. And you need them to be quite tight because you don't want any leakage from this, because if the pressure goes down, then it's not going to shrink those bubbles up. Now, a pressure pot doesn't remove the bubbles, it squashes them down so they're smaller than the eye can see. Okay, so now they're on. And I've taken that up to 60 psi and never ever take it higher than that. That is enough, and that will do exactly what you want. Now, the downside to a pressure pot is I can't do anything with that for 24 hours. So if I haven't got everything in there that I want to put in there, then I'm tough. I have to wait. With the Airless Pro and the water bath, you can use those continuously throughout the day. There are pros and cons with using the pressure pot. There's pros and cons with using the Airless Pro. There's pros and cons with using the water bath. And there's definitely pros and cons of not using anything at all. So what we'll do is we'll leave all those to cure up and then we can compare them at the end. These are all cured. All I need to do now is take my resin out of the pressure pot. So that's that one now done. What I'm going to do is take these H out of the pots so you get a clearer view of them. Well, I've done all that. I've taken them out now and we can have a look at them. Now, when you look at them like this, you can see that that is cloudy. But the best way to actually identify them is near a light. And then you really do get to see how many bubbles are in them. So that's the one where we mixed it up cold. And that is full of bubbles. So the next one is where we did a warm water bath, and you can see there is a lot less bubbles in that. There is still a few, but that was just mixing, but dramatically less than that one. This is the Airless Pro. Look how lovely and clear that is. I can see one bubble, and I think it's a bubble, not a... Actually, no, it might not be a bubble. It might be a little bit of contamination in there, because it does get rid of 99% of the bubbles. So there's a big difference there. And then we've got the pressure pot, and there isn't a single bubble in that anywhere. So let me show you them all together so we can see them. So mixing it cold, which is the first one, you're always going to get lots of bubbles. Mixing it warm, it is going to really reduce the amount of bubbles that you get. Putting in the Airless Pro eliminates 99% of the bubbles, and putting it in a pressure pot also eliminates 100% of the bubbles. So I would say these three methods completely change what's possible with resin clarity, and they're quite simple methods to do. Each level improves the results, but it just goes to show that even small changes can make a dramatic difference, as you can see there by just warming up the resin. Well, this video should have been useful for you if you're looking to get rid of the bubbles. Be sure to check out the video I've got coming up next if you want to learn more about using resin and eliminate bubbles when you're using material or cloth in resin. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.